Okay, good morning, everybody. Feels good to be back. Got a pretty exciting deck for today. This is a red-green Goblin Storm deck, and Simon, who's apparently been playing the deck, wants to play a Pashik Mons, which I think is maybe interesting. So do you cut like the second Bushwhacker? Do you cut the second Bushwhacker? Do you cut like I think I want to play the one Breach. Mons does seem kind of okay. Maybe it's like a little win more though. Like, what situation... Like, what's cool about Bushwhacker is you can just play it as a 1/1 goblin if you draw it, and then you get to sack it for mana. I'm trying to figure out, like, what situations Mons wins you that Bushwhacker doesn't. But I do think it's interesting for sure. So, I've been playtesting this deck a little bit off stream. It has definitely, like, been waiting enough to bring it to the stream. It is definitely very out there, though. Mons is just the easiest win condition. I see. I don't know how much I value the easy though. You know what I mean? Like I really think it's really good that if you draw Bushwhacker, you get to play it out and like it gets to generate more mana. It's like a cheap goblin for Infernal Plunge. I'll think about it some more though. I'll think about it some more while we do the deck tech. So the big idea here is that you're going to be using powerful mana generation from mostly Skirk Prospector, but also Infernal Plunge. A red sorcery is additional cost to cast a spell, sack a creature, make 3 red mana. Goblin Anarchomancer, Anarchomancer, which is reduces green to red spells by 1. And then the card advantage from the Rundvelt Hordemaster, Underworld Breach, or Fecundity to go through your entire deck, or not necessarily your entire deck, but enough cards to play a big Into the Warrens, and sometimes you go through your, as many cards as you want, make millions of mana, kill them with Bushwhacker, could kill them with Pashik Mons, and sometimes you're just making a big board, sometimes you're Into the Warrensing for 4, then you untap and you play a Horde Master, then all of a sudden you're lording your goblins, attacking for a bunch. You have a lot of different lines. I do think Horde Master is a really big upgrade for this archetype. I know Jim Davis has played this deck a lot on his stream. I don't think I've seen him play it since Horde Master's been out. But what's cool about Horde Master is it gives you an effect very similar to Fecundity, although certainly much worse because it doesn't allow you to draw into the Warrens or Infernal Plunge. But it's 2 mana instead of 3 mana, and also is of course a goblin itself, and it lords your other goblins. And one really cool thing is that it allows Matron to get you kind of something besides just like a mana engine or a winning condition. It can get now a card advantage engine or a lord, which I think is really, really powerful. Perspiring Mike, thank you for the 17 months. Appreciate you. The activated ability is also relevant. That's true for the Mons. I think I'm down to try, since, I've played 2 leagues of this deck. I think I went 3-2 both times. Definitely open to changes. I think that we could try Bonds over a Bushwhacker. And I was also thinking about playing Giganta. One issue is I have 10 sideboard cards that don't meet Giganta's requirements, so I think in most sideboard games or a lot of sideboard games we're not going to have access to it. And I think in fair decks, even if you're going to lose Giganta in a lot of sideboard games, I'll often still play it main deck. But I feel like in a really synergistic combo deck like this, I'm not sure that I actually want it, but it could still be worth it. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, first hand of the day. I think this is a mulligan. 1 land Hierarch hand with no mana generation. This hand is all mana, so let's go to 5. Go to 4. No lands. What a start, huh? What a start. Oh man, this hand is very good. Very good 7. We have to put 3 cards back. Let's put back Wooded Foothills. I think this just has to be the 4 cards. Wow, deck mold to 4. It's bad, huh? Pretty good mold. Pretty good 4, but it's still 4. How do you spell Plastic Bonds? I'm trying to add it to the to the stream decker for Simon. Getting Ren and 6th. We are getting Ren and 6th. I want to see what we're playing against before I concede. Could be Reclamation. Okay, Instigator first here. I would have kept the Hordemaster to try to recoup the card loss. I think that's like a fine thought, but I like keeping these 4 cards and hoping that my opponent's not being a super interactive deck, and then I just have my like entire engine together, and I'm, you know, somewhat free to just draw into a payoff. Is this like the old Fecundity list of yore? Yeah, but with, you know, lots of new cards too. So yeah, I think I'm currently putting my opponent on creativity. I do really want to know for sure what we're playing against before I start sideboarding though. They could still be like Reclamation. Yeah, we also have NordVPN back. So much to talk about. NordVPN back to sponsor the stream. Had a long weekend that was in the middle of the week, and my schedule's all disrupted. No more food boxes. I think that today is the very last day for the HelloFresh code. You can still type exclamation point HelloFresh in the chat if you're interested. But yeah, I think today's the last day. So I just got swapped. Hey, on 27 months, I can thank you. All right, well, game 1, match 1, mold of 4, pay for War Marshal Echo ability, everything. Oh, no. Well, that is a pretty good draw, but maybe would have liked to resolve this. DJ, thank you for 13 months. Appreciate you. So if they get a Dwarven Mine token, we'll obviously know what they're up to. What's the plan for today? So we're starting off with this today. I've got a few other decks like that I'm interested in playing. I think that the Jund Saga is kind of like what I'm itching to play today, but I also have Grixis Scam, like with like some small updates rented. That's something I wanted to return to as well. We're gonna play, you know, 1 or 2 leagues with this. Okay, weird that they would like let the Ren take the hit and then bolt the Goblin token anyways, but that probably means they just have like so many resources that they're not using them super effectively. I mean, I have Fecundity in my hand. This card is like definitely crazy. You can certainly go off from seemingly unwinnable positions. Like next turn, if I draw a land, I can go Matron, Prospector, and that's, I guess they're just gonna ping the Prospector though. Do I see Greasefang Modern playable? So Dingo playing it in the core of cards feels strong. I've had a few different shells built around Greasefang. I don't know, like Engineer into Greasefang is a pretty powerful combo. Requires like some dead draws, and you know it is hard to be in on creature-based combos that are not resilient to removal via card advantage, since the identity of Modern as a format is largely that Modern is. I have to draw like Underworld Breach here, right? Yeah. Let's go to game 2. One of the main identities of Modern is that the format is, you know, super efficient interaction. So I don't know. I guess is the answer. I know everybody is going to want to bring in Magus to the Moon because we're playing any match of Modern, but just against the Fire Ice Lightning Bolt deck, I just never really like to bring Magus in against Creativity. I think I'm just resubmitting. Gonna try to be in on my combo plan. This is definitely a matchup where you can kind of just tank a hit or 2 for Archon. You have plenty of creatures to sacrifice for value, especially if you have Fecundity or Hordemaster in play. Hopefully, just not gonna mulligan 2-4 again. Any archetype weaknesses of Jeskai Lotus Field? I mean, Jeskai Lotus Field, in Magic the Gathering, you always have a trade-off of consistency versus, like, raw power. Jeskai Lotus Field is definitely a deck with lots of raw power, and you're achieving that via sacrificing consistency, kind of similar to Tron, which is a weakness. Okay, deck tech for I Play Bad Decks. If you post a link in the chat, I can take a look. Oh, trying to get the Standing Dust to come down. Another hand of all... Is it not coming down? Okay, well, we may have an issue. I'm gonna... I mean, Prospector is so important, but this hand is just like, oh man, I think I have to go to 6. And this not being a dual land is a big problem. Maybe I think I'm gonna keep 6 and hope to draw some mana. I know this is like so dicey, but okay, my desk's not coming down. I don't see any obstructions. I guess I'm standing all day today, huh? Come on, land. Yes. Huge. Huge, huge, huge. I think I am going to play the Hordemaster here. So if they go Ren and 6 ping, I can go Hierarch, kill the Ren and 6, and have the Hordemaster trigger. So I want to... Okay. Oh, I figured it out. My chair was... my chair was stopping it. Oops. Man, I would love to play the Anarchomancer here, but I do think I have to stick with the plan. Exiled Infernal Plunge here, so nothing helpful. Okay, and then Clerics. We've actually built this deck on stream in the past, talked about it some. It was a donation deck from back in the day. You have a lot of the same elements I had. Hapatra, Yawgmoth, 4 Clerics of Lifebond. This deck actually looks like very similar to that list. Oh boy. Well, if our Anarchomancer goes uncontested, definitely have a chance. I remember not liking... Ooh. Yeah, I guess good curve for them, huh? Okay, now this is a hand, huh? This is a hand. So, okay, so one thing I've also been kind of toying with is in hands like this, if I don't know what the matchup is, I'm just going to be like not playing my Prospector on turn 1 because Prospector is just so important for the engine. Could Tree of Triumph, could be Creativity again. Could be Rhinos, could be a bunch of different decks, obviously. Okay, let's play the Anarchomancer. We get to untap with this, we're going nuts. I like Oriah. Yeah, I feel like I would just be trimming like these like really inefficient cards. Eiley, Elias, getting up to the full 8 Soul Sisters, and so I have just a higher density of 1 mana cards. Mana looks pretty clean. This looks so similar to that like donation deck I had. Does look like Wilderness Reclamation. You could main deck the Sanctum Prelate too, so you'd be better against Cascade decks. I think that could be totally fine. Okay, dead. Untapping. Land would be just great to go for Fecundity. Would be in amazing shape if we did that. Perfect. I think I'm okay getting a forest. I don't think it matters a ton. Elias Yawgmoth can go Infinite Drain. I don't know how important that is. Like when you have Yawgmoth, you're already gaining like a ton of life with your Soul Sisters. The board is like you're gonna have as many cards as you need. The board's gonna be pretty like locked up. You could cut one, but I don't know. It feels like a little like having it in the deck. I think will lower your overall win percentage, which is like always just like the decisions you're making like this, right? Bandit, 14 months, thank you. Just reminder that Yeehaw is Texan for Pog. Indeed, indeed. Okay, so sack Mogg War Marshal. Draw a card. So maybe supposed to sack the Goblin token first. I think that maybe plays around Lightning Bolt a little bit better. Not that it ended up mattering here. Okay, there's our land for turn. So I'm going to go ahead and I think just play Ignoble Hierarch. Just kind of get the storm count high for this Empty the Warrens, which is going to... Ooh, there's Breach. And Empty the Warrens is basically going to represent 12 mana and 12 cards here for 4. How? Literally, how do you have a Lightning Bolt in your hand, opponent? Literally, how do you have a Lightning Bolt in your hand here? Unreal. Okay, so if I empty the Warrens, we're done. If I go Underworld Breach, Prospector, I can go Underworld Breach, Prospector, 3 cards in the yard, sack the Bushwhacker, get a card. Then I can cast Mogg War Marshal. Let's go for this. This is definitely the fun line. Bandit 14 months, appreciate you, and home run with the deck. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, Max Punished. So Max Punished, it's unreal. I even get to draw a card off the Endurance. Well, good beats. Still not in terrible shape, but not feeling as good as I was a moment ago. Iteration. Okay, so 4-color Reclamation with Leyline Binding. This is something we've talked about a decent amount on stream. I would not play Chalice of the Void in Reclamation, at least in the main deck. I think you can potentially sideboard it. However, I think that, like, you know, removal is important in this archetype to survive. I definitely do think that. However, I'm also of the opinion, I think I'm going to go for Hordemaster Hierarch here. I'm also of the opinion that you really, like, you really need the ball to be rolling in Reclamation decks. It's really tough to play cards like Chalice of the Void, like Teferi, Hero of Domination, or I guess that's not a good example, but like a lot of the white cards end up like not facilitating your Reclamation game plan very much. I think you could sideboard them, they'd be fine, but I'm just not a big fan of playing them in the main deck. You also should be playing 4 Reclamations. This is a lesson I've learned plenty of times, that you need to play 4 Reclamations in the Reclamation deck. I've tried 3 for a lot, 4 is better. You do need to play 4 Wrenn and 6, that's correct. So I think that, like, what I've been wanting to do is, like, basically play this list, but cutting the Fire Ices for Leyline Bindings, and this way you still get access to Lightning Bolt, so you have access to, like, that turn 1 answer to Ragavan, which I think is pretty important in the archetype. But besides that, like, this is like the main change I wanted to make, or that's like how I build it, rather. Not really all too different, I guess. I don't know that the subtleties are needed in the sideboard. I usually find the big mana matchups to be fine. I think that Leyline Binding even improves them a decent amount. Maybe that's where you put the Chalice of the Voids. You already have 1 extra Chalice on the side, I see. Okay, so they just plus their Wrenn and 6 here. Any chance to change Deluge to an expression? No, you have to play 4 Memory Deluge in this deck too. You cannot play less than 4 Deluge. Deluge is insane. Like lessons I've learned from Reclamation, you have to play 4 Reclamation, 4 Deluge, 4 Wrenn and 6. These are the only 4 cards that are, like, absolutely and 1 Nexus to Fate. This is like the engine of the deck. These are the cards that are, like, completely untouchable in my mind. Joint Exploration is, like, definitely not good enough to want to play over these cards. Yeah, sideboard seems generally fine. I think I'll be playing like 3 Chalice in the sideboard. I think that's, like, pretty good. Okay, we're gonna get to draw 2 cards here and get 2 Hordemaster triggers. Oh, only 1? Why do I, oh, because, okay, right, because the lording effect means that this dies after the Hordemaster dies. We had this issue come up earlier, actually. Okay, Infernal Plunge is interesting. So I can go Infernal Plunge, sack Bushwhacker, draw a card, ping. I think I'll ping them. Yeah, ping them. Now I can go Matron for Prospector. Thoughts on the new Squee in Smallpox? It seems fine. I guess I've always wanted to play Kroxa and Squee, but the new Squee is, like, so much more castable than Kroxa. It's actually pretty interesting. Although Kroxa, like, synergizes more, like, the effect it has. Yeah, this deck always looks so crazy when it's going off. So I can empty the Warrens here, but I'm not going to be able to empty the Warrens with Prospector in play necessarily, or you know, Mons, unless I find another Infernal Plunge or a. Okay, so let me. I'll definitely be making the mana now. So we draw 3 more cards, deal them 2 more. We're gonna empty the Warrens for a lot. We potentially will be able to find. I know. I'm actually. We would have to find like Prospector plus War Marshal or something, and like these 2 cards have to run really well. But then, you know, this is kind of the idea. Like, obviously, your combo deck as like your plan A, but just like into the Warrens for a bunch and then untap and play a Lord is a like a very good plan. Panda, 28 months. Thank you so much. Welcome back. No refunds. That try version with Harvest you're suggesting to me when I deck text pretty sweet. Yeah, my like philosophy on Harvest has actually changed some. Where like I really liked it in Prowess, where like you're a deck that like cares about casting cheap instants and sorceries. I feel like in a deck like this, where like you're spending mana not impacting the board, I'm like a lot less excited for it. Although, like cutting 4 lands for 4 Harvest is interesting. You'd probably have to play like no more than 1 red source, but probably all green sources. But it would be kind of that's kind of an interesting thought. Ooh. Well. Damn it. But Slinging is kind of high on the mana curve. And it doesn't like make mana when you sack. It'd be fine though. You could play it. Well, pretty cool game. Does the Direct Decker showing match the one in the Stream Decker? It probably does, or at least like one of the ones in the Stream Decker. Okay, another matchup where like Magus is awkward, right? Because they're a Lightning Bolt, Fire Ice deck. Although I think just like the fact that this is just stopping their combo, I'm gonna be bringing in a couple copies. I think I'm cutting the Underworld Breach. Like I've been trimming on Infernal Plunge a lot in like the more interactive matchups. So we'll just play like 2, I think. Well, yeah, I think Bombardment is interesting. So like the idea is kind of like the Matrons are extra sack outlets because they get you your good sack outlet in the Prospector. But yeah, you could definitely try Bombardment too. No, I didn't try the version with Harvest. Like just that my impression of Harvest has changed. Where like I think that you know decks are not interested in having a bunch of instants and sorceries are not as interested. I could be wrong about it. Like playing Blood Moon in creature decks over Magus because they will have creature removal for your goblins. Well, that philosophy is true for matchups like this, but against like specifically Amulet Titan and Tron, they have like easier access to Boseiju. Where Titan plays like 3 Boseijus and Tron has Sylvan Scrying and Expedition Map for Boseijus. You compare that to like their 2 copies of Dismember. Like Titan plays like 2 Dismembers, Tron will maybe play like 3, but it's like they have more Boseijus and they have more access to Boseiju and Tron because they have like 8 tutors for it, and like these are the main matchups that you want Magus for. It could, you know, Scapeshift is definitely on the up and up, so like maybe that dynamic changes somewhat, but I've also still been liking Magus, you know. A split between Blood Moon and Magus. You could do a split between Blood Moon and Magus. Is Snoop too slow? Yeah, Snoop is like kind of slow, dopey, grindy. Misses like a lot of cards in the deck too. Galvanic Relay is valuable. Galvanic Relay seems kind of interesting. I was actually trying like mono red Prowess with Galvanic Relay a little while ago, and I was very unsure. I was very unsure what I thought of it. Where's the... Why do I have no mono red Prowess decks? Sure, they're in here somewhere. Maybe they're just under just red. I've been, you know, away from my computer for 3 days, so I'm not as versed where everything is. Not that I usually know where anything is. Yeah, but Galvanic Relay is a good suggestion. If this was a dual land, this hand would be very good, I think. I think I'm going to mulligan as is, although it feels bad to mulligan a hand like that with so many important pieces. I do think I can keep this one. I think I'll be putting back the Instigator. Symbol 29 months, thank you. Do I know when the Pro video will release? I don't know. I think that it's like... I think that they stagger the releases like a month, or maybe just depends, but... you know, his setup is really nice, very professional. You know, got full-time editors. They do a lot of work on the videos. It was very, very different from just being in my, you know, in my home office with a webcam. It was very, very like highly produced. Definitely felt a little out of my element, but it was a lot of fun. Okay, I think I'll play the Anarchomancer here. This is another Brennan 6. You have to have another Bolter of Fire Ice. Is it Mogg War Marshal better than Instigator? I'm playing 4 copies of each. I'm playing 4 copies of each. This happens a lot where I have, you know, 4 of each of a card, and I'll just be like, wait, this is strictly worse than this other card. Ooh, we can go Marshal, Marshal, Plunge, and then 2 mana Matron for a Hordemaster, and I think I'm just gonna get another Hordemaster. I could get a Mons, I guess. I could also get a Bushwhacker. I think I just get another Hordemaster though. Seems fine. What website do you like that accurately depicts the current meta? There's no like secret website that like I have access to that accurately depicts the modern metagame. Goldfish is like the best resource you have, but it's not a particularly like effective resource because like, you know, there is just no perfect data that exists for Magic Online. You know, looking at the tournaments maybe gives you like a better, clearer insight, but I get my impression of the metagame by spending like 60 to 70 hours a week focused on Modern. You know what I mean? It's not, there's not like a website you can look at for numbers. They're perfect. Okay. Discovery. 1 game 2 after losing a game 1 I thought we would never ever lose. That that endurance only relevant against like the one of Breach. Okay, let's keep this hand. We have Prospector, Fecundity, 2 lands. This is definitely a hand that I'm interested in holding the Prospector on, although I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to. Let me see what we draw. If I draw like another Prospector, another 1-drop, it's kind of easy to play it out. But I do think the card is just too important to the engine that we're supposed to hold here. Also, this is kind of like a Mold 5 because we have both of our Maguses in our opening hand. This would be an Underworld Breach and an Infernal Plunge otherwise, which would also be kind of, you know, not the most synergistic to this hand, I suppose. Instigator seems a bit better into this open mana than the Hordemaster. Well, I guess if they have Fire Ice, that's not true. Yeah, I feel very good to be back. I feel very good to be back. This is probably like the longest, or maybe I think tied for the longest break I've taken since starting to stream like 3 years ago. Or maybe Vegas was 5 days off stream. That might have been, I think Vegas was 5 days off stream. Is string you don't play Chieftain, is Bushwhacker really better? So Bushwhacker being 1 mana is really big because you can just like play it on turn 1 and then, you know, use it as, you know, 1 mana, draw a card, sack a goblin. Oh, they have Chalice? Okay, so I'm not playing Cavern. I was trying Cavern. Cavern's felt kind of clunky. And insanely punished for not playing my Prospector. Okay, with this draw, I think I'm definitely just going to go Anarchomancer, though, into Hordemaster, and get in. I come back today, so... Oh, are Brother War spoilers starting today? It feels so soon, but... I guess I am glad to not have the long breaks anymore between sets. More reason to play Cavern. My first draft had Cavern, and like I just kept having like Cavern, Infernal Plunge hands. Cavern, I had the Cavern, Oh, nice lightning bolt. Cavern plus Fecundity. It was just like, it wasn't like the biggest deal, but it was like enough of a reason for me to cut the caverns. But, you know, this is a reason to have them, obviously. I don't know, like, why they would kill this in combat, but if they do kill this in combat, then I'm not going to get to double Magus, so I'll, you know, play Maguses. Today's the announcement stream, no spoilers, but the real spoiler is probably 3 weeks away. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a spoiler card for the set. Okay, Endurance. Am I sending in with the team? If I send in with the team, they block the Hordemaster, take 7 down to 4. Set up for an Alpha Strike lethal next turn. They can also block next turn here, take 5 plus 4. Yeah, I think an Alpha Strike is fine. They're hamstrung and showing some of the set. Okay. For stores to put in orders. I see. Okay, won the match. Cannot believe we lost that game 1. This list has like a lot less types, so Emrakul is like not as cheaply castable. So I'm trying to figure out how to get like. I'm trying to figure out how to get like artifacts and planeswalkers into the deck, which is, you know, easier said than done, I think. And I'm missing 4 slots right now. This is 56 cards. I'm also not sure about the number of Emrakuls. I don't know if you want to play Traverse. This list is like very much up in the air. I'm trying to figure it out, I guess. Okay, let's put that back. And then, but it's also to mold to 6. People are playing a 2/2 split counterspell Mana Leak and Blue Red Moontide. Is Mana Leak really needed? No. I would not. I don't sound good to me. Okay, so I'm gonna continue my plan of just holding the Prospector. Deck just thought you would like to see how others innovate on brews. Okay. Did you like channel point redeem? I think you did. Or if I missed one, let me know. So Boros Lotusfield with Karn. I think you can play Karn over Nihiri. I think that would be totally fine. 7 4-mana Planeswalkers feels like way too many to me. I guess you're cutting a 5-drop for one of them. That's okay. And then you're not playing the Silexes, so you can tutor up the Silexes. Okay, punish for not playing the Prospector, but obviously you just don't know the matchups first. Could play the Prospector this turn. And then set up for War Marshal as a ritual. It's pretty mana inefficient. I'm gonna do it though. This is definitely a matchup with the Magus is obviously really nice. Seems interesting. Yeah, I think Karn over Nihiri is fine. Karn over Nihiri seems fine. Make sure Emrakul plan worse though. Could be good. But I would be like trying to lower the curve beyond that. Thank you. I was looking for those.
Yeah, they were on the kitchen table.
The one place I've never looked. It's going. What's up? Yeah.
Just wondering. It's been a while since you streamed.
Yeah, I forgot everything. So what if I just go this turn Hordemaster or Hierarch? Probably Hordemaster. And then try to set up next turn for like maybe draw a land and go. Oh, I guess I can go just Hierarch into War Marshal into empty with the Prospector still in play. Wait, give me a second. With the War Master still in play. Alternatively, so +1 mana. Yeah, I would have to sack the Hordemaster to empty, but that would be fine. And playing Hordemaster first is more mana efficient and has high upsides of like finding another War Marshal next turn. Let's do this. Yeah, very cool deck though. Interrupter, thank you for the 7 months. Appreciate you. Second amulet. Shoots. We do have a chance to untap and kill them. Udok, think with 18 months. But with double amulet, I could very easily be dead here. Any chance you'll play Boris and Wade sometime soon? Maybe. Oh, dude, into Cultivator? Cultivator's so... I'm so dead. You never... You can untap versus 2 amulet. You can if they only have Titan, I think you get to untap here. Yeah, Boris and Wade is interesting. It's not something that's like super on my radar at the moment, but it might be something I play. Cruelty of Gix in that Omnath Windgrace deck. Saga can reanimate and immediately go to the yard. Okay, yeah, that's. I really wish you could bring to light for it. Seems okay. Seems okay. It's a FP block. Wait, no, the double striking Titan only deals 18. I'm at 20, right? Okay, there's a Dryad, and there's a turn 3 Titan. Okay. Freya, thank you for the 27 months. Appreciate you. Welcome back. Okay, so we're bringing the Magus. I could play one Trashmaster too. I don't think I want the Tin Street Hooligan. Okay, so I'm gonna be cutting like 2 Infernal Plunges. And I think the Breach too. Breach always gets so much worse when you bring in any sideboard cards. Also much worse when you cut Plunges. I think I might cut the Mons for a Trashmaster too. Click submit. Yeah, Portland was really fun. Very fun. I don't know. I wish I was better at I don't know if there's too much else to say, but it was a good time. Maybe Esther can say some nice things.
I went hiking. So that was really
fun. Hold on, this is a really weird hand. We can go turn 1 Hierarch, turn 2 Prospector, sack Hierarch, Infernal Plunge, 4 mana. If I draw a land, then I can also play another Prospector.
She got a breathe right strip.
I think this hand is good enough to keep. Where's Manamorphose? I think Manamorphose is like... You could play Manamorphose in the deck. It's good exactly with the Anarchomancer, and it like helps generate Storm. But it is a little like... No! They have Dismember? Oh my gosh, this hand is so weak to Dismember if we don't draw a land. Damn it. It's not... Manamorphose is pretty awkward with Hordemaster, because then also you're like diluting the number of goblins you hit off the Hordemaster. You could play it though. You could definitely play it. Plunge seems good in the matchup. I think every time you're bringing in sideboard cards, Plunge just seems to get like a little bit worse, but yeah. Obviously, like, you know, plunging into Magus is okay, but you know you have a lot of ways to turn 2 Magus in the deck without the plunge. Okay, I'm gonna scoop. Rough game. Okay, we're gonna keep this hand. This hand has a ton of mana, no payoff, but we're on the draw, and so payoff is obviously, you know, what we're gonna need to hope to find. Dragon Ward. Oh, sorry. So Steam Vince, Channeler, Giganta is gonna be Grixis Shadow. I think this is definitely a matchup where I'm just gonna want to hold the Prospector until a turn where I can use it rather than just like throw it away early like this.
Oh, bless you.
Pocket Beers. Is this just worse than creativity? Post a link in the chat. I can take a look. Have I updated Mono Green Stompy with Defiler of Vigor? No. I do think Defiler of Vigor plus the Great Hinge is kind of interesting. Look at Canister summoning the Mons here.
Come here.
I have 2 War Marshals. I think I just play a War Marshal here. No, I think with the Prospector and the Plunge, I think I'm just going to hope to be able to go, like, land into like Infernal Plunge, Prospector, Mons, or something like that. Esper Reanimorph.
That's a sweet dog, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, Polymorph is so much worse than Creativity. I do think this definitely seems to be a little lost of the sauce. Ooh. Hold on. So I can go Plunge, sack a Goblin, 3 red, Archaeomancer, 2 red floating, into Prospector War Marshal. So if they don't have a Lightning Bolt or red removal spell, which they are somewhat likely to have, I guess, I can cast my whole hand. I think I'm supposed to go for it. I don't think I'm doing too much else. Yeah, with your deck tech question, is this just worse than Creativity? Yes, I would say so. It is cool. Your mana gets to be better. But like Dwarven Mine is so nuts, and then the fact that Creativity gets to target artifacts and be better against a creature-based removal is really nice, and the fact that Creativity can target multiple creatures at once is absurd. It is so much better than Polymorph, and the mana, like, you know, does absolutely work. So it's just not like super necessary, I guess, to build the deck in this way that you've built it, if that makes sense. Okay, so very interesting game we have here. So if I go sack 4 goblins for Prospector, then I can spend mana to Pashik Mon, sacrifice Archaeomancer, Anarchomancer. I keep mispronouncing the name. And then that's going to be 2 more goblins. So I get a total of 7 pings here, if I'm counting correctly, which is not lethal. Thankfully, I guess all my opponent's creatures are 1 toughness, so I'm going to go after those. Maybe I should have gone after the Channeler first. They had instants. Wrong order, lost 1 ping. Maybe you're right about that. Okay. So here I can get 2 more pings and then turn the Anarchomancer into a Goblin token. I don't know if that's correct. Kind of feels better to just attack and not lose my Anarchomancer. Where's Coco? People just love to slam Coco into every single deck ever, huh? Yeah, I don't think that this seems to be horribly misspelled, although I don't think I'd be playing Drown in the Lock. I'd probably be playing Counterspell over Drown in the Lock in this specific list. I'd be playing Mortefaries. But yeah, this is not a direction I would recommend going in. Run and Reunion. Oh, it makes a token. That is actually really cool. Cool tech. Yeah, definitely a good spot for, would be a good spot for Giganta. It's tough because you have so many sideboard cards that don't use it. I'm not really sure, like, I obviously know like any deck that can play Giganta for like very low cost wants it, but for this one with like so many like non-Giganta sideboard cards, I'm not sure how worth it is, although it may just still be worth it. I think I'm going to be paying Echo. And I can send in with the War Marshal and then sack it and block the Ragavan on defense if I want to, although I guess they're just going to trade with the Anarchomancer. Will 12 Rebel Master be a YouTube vid? I have an editor that handles all of the YouTube videos. That video, or that, I did that league a long time ago. It was a few weeks ago. And so it's probably like been missed in the rotation. I can maybe ask him about it though. Although the VOD may just be gone at this point too. GG Tom. No worries, no worries. So up a game against Shadow here. Unlikely to sideboard very much, if at all. Yeah, I think we're just resubmitting here. Kind of interesting cutting the 4th Plunge. You could play like 1 Fury over a Plunge, but I think that's probably still fine to just click submit. Yeah, Mon's better than Bushwhacker there for sure. Although I think there was a spot earlier where I kind of wished it was a Bushwhacker, but I don't know if it mattered that much in that spot. Well, definitely a keep against Grixis Shadow. Why not Magus? You could play Magus. Again, like people like will always suggest Magus in matchups like this, though, and like they are in a Holy Heat Lightning Bolt deck, or like or at least they're playing like some combination of those two cards. Like Blood Moon is pretty good against Grixis Shadow. It's not that not that good in Magus is not that good, and obviously like Magus is mostly a sideboard card for Tron and Titan. It's not really like here to be good against like the Grixis Shadow decks, although notably like notably like the presence of Temur Scapeshift being back in the metagame, and Temur Scapeshift being really good against Temur Scapeshift being really good against Magus maybe is a good enough reason to play Blood Moon instead, but I don't know that like the Grixis Shadow matchup, like I would be wanting to play one Blood Moon makes you want it, although maybe that is a good enough reason for a split. It's a conversation. Okay, so let's play the War Marshal this turn. And next turn I could do something like Anarchomancer into Plunge into Empty. Probably not going to be able to now. Enigma, I think with 2-pack, appreciate you. What about Aether Vial on the list? Aether Vial is interesting. I feel like you have to play it over Infernal Plunge, and I think Infernal Plunge is better. There's like a lot of times you're drawing a lot of cards with your Skirk Prospector and Fecundity combo, and you just need to go up on mana, and like you can either do that with Plunge or War Marshal. Vial like would also like it would be acting like a slower ritual, Narset, tie, tempo kind of combo control list. Okay. It looks. My first impression is it does seem like you're doing way too much here. Just I guess one like very first note. Ragavan is like not a card you should be playing with slow 3 mana 2-card combos. You know what I mean? Where like Ragavan really shines when you get to back it up with like a lot of efficient 1-for-1s and just like let that Ragavan start to control the game. Ragavan is not a card that is going to shine as much in a deck like this that is playing Narset and Jace and Days Undoing. And Subtlety, just like these slow high mana value cards can be harder to get in with that Ragavan early and protect your Ragavan. Additionally, Murktide Regent in Days Undoing is a big nombo where Days Undoing gets rid of all the instants and sorceries from your graveyard. You don't even get to like use Days Undoing to put counters on the Murktide because of the end of turn clause here. But these are two cards that I would like basically never pair together, Days Undoing and Murktide Regent. Okay, guess I'm discarding the Plunge here. And I mean, like, there's a reason why, like, the control decks play... Oh, wow, what a top deck. Although, do I have to hold the Hierarch? I do, because if they discard a spell, I just die. Then pass back. There's a reason why control decks are the decks that play Narset, Days Undoing, and there's a reason why Ragavan decks don't play these high mana value cards, why Murktide decks don't play these high mana value cards. Okay, there's a Prospector, which means if we are able to untap, we have a chance. So yeah, you just have to pick a lane. You could be a controlling Days Undoing Narset deck. You can be just normal blue-red Murktide, but like mixing the two together is just, I think, a formula to lose more games of Magic. Also, if you're gonna splash white, you probably should be playing Prismatic or Leyline Binding. Like if you're gonna splash white, like that's something to really heavily consider in a slower deck like this. But it's a little bit more of a digress, I guess. Sideboard seems very standard. Very standard indeed. Okay, I'm gonna keep this. Hard matchup to mulligan in. Going to go for Instigator this turn. Be nice to draw land and go Anarchomancer into Hordemaster. See what happens. Okay, love getting my Instigator Fatal Pushed, of course. If I cut Ragmurk to the Nijiska so we'll have enough threats. Yeah, you mean play like you can play like another Planeswalker too, but you'll have enough threats. That's like, you know, it's like saying do control decks of Modern have enough threats? Yeah, you know. Yeah, you play some Teferi Hero of Dominarias. Just play a couple of them. You'll be fine. Have I cast Breach yet? I haven't cast it yet, and in theory, like the first... Oh, no, so we did cast it, and then we got Endurance, and, like, lost the game because of it. But I think in theory, the first copy of Breach is good. Like, maybe they just, like, have to take it here. Especially with, like, a Narcomancer. So they take Matron, or so they take Empty the Warrens, not the Breach. Which is surprising. Mortoni, thank you for the 6 months. Appreciate you. And they drown the Anarchomancer? They do. I get a Hordemaster trigger, which reveals Infernal Plunge. Unfortunately, Infernal Plunge, not a Goblin. There's a Mons. So I think this turn is a pretty easy Matron for Prospector. And pass back. Smokey, 30 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate the Bezos box. There's Best Shadow. Down to 14. 2 cards in hand. I think I'm just going to lead on the Prospector here. See if they are going to be like using a counterspell on this. And if they do, I can maybe go like Breach into Empty, or Breach into Prospector into Empty. Okay. They didn't counter it, although they did think about it for a little bit. I could just go cast Mons here. They kill the Prospector in response. I can make 3 mana to go Breach into Prospector again. And then I can sack... Yeah, they can't generate any mana from that point, though. So they could just start off by sacking Goblin here. See if I hit anything relevant. I hit another Hordemaster, which is pretty interesting. So I think I go cast the Hordemaster. They get their Connive. Tech for Dirkside. 5 color Yorion Rhinos. Okay. Shouldn't be too tricky of a deck tech. Storm count's getting pretty high. Copperline Gorge. Infernal Plunge exiled. At this point, if I go for Breach, I'll be able to empty the Warrens for a lot, but I won't be able to empty with Prospector in play. But I think that that's likely fine. Alternatively, I can obviously just cast Mons, but I can go Breach, play Hierarch, sack Hierarch, sack here, play Instigator, play Breach. Is it better to sack a Hordemaster and then Instigator first? I think I get like the same number of triggers. Hold on. I can also go Archaeomancer or I can't pronounce the card. But I can play this, then sack the other Hordemaster, then play an Instigator for 1. And then do I have enough to empty the Warrens after that? Because I'll have 2 more cards in the graveyard for a total of 9. Then this will go back to the graveyard for a total of 10. Obviously, can hit something too. I think let's do this. Oh, wow. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect. So this is free to play. Oh my gosh, it wasn't free to play because I lose the green mana. What am I doing? But I hit another Mogg War Marshal, which is just so unfair. I don't deserve this Mogg War Marshal. Yeah, but we're gonna be able to go kind of crazy here. Yeah, just back it in. Okay. Ever keep this hand? Probably not. But I also think personally I would be playing Dead Gone in those flex spots. I think that Dead Gone is really, really important spell to be playing, and I think it is better, gonna increase your win percentage more than Touch the Spirit Realm. So I would be, I think, very likely -2, +2 Ardent Plea, -2 Prismari Command, -2 Endurance, +4 Dead Gone. Inevitable Trail is a card I keep seeing in the sideboard. I think it's fine, although my big issue with it, I guess, not that it's like a huge issue, is that let's go because Hammer Time. Is that I think you're like really good against Rhinos is already like the best deck against the Archon decks anyways, where you're a Force of Negation, Leyline Binding, sometimes Brazen Borrower, Teferi Time Raveler, Solitude. You just have so many answers to their Archons. In my experience, that I feel like I'm just kind of like not that worried about. Oh, hold on. So I should go War Marshal, Prospector. You draw Fecundity. I guess I would trade this for Giver of Runes if they wanted to block. It just doesn't really feel like a card you need in the deck. Rhino should play Ovars instead. Oh wow, I got my Fecundity. Hold on. 1 mana Fecundity too. It seems like I shouldn't be paying here. Although I guess paying 1 is probably fine. This game 1, it shouldn't matter that much either way, but I just have like, more than enough mana to do whatever I need here. Another Fecundity, also 1 mana if I draw another green land. Double Fecundity is pretty crazy engine. Okay, there's another green land, so we'll go Shock, Fecundity. Another Instigator as a 1 mana draw 4, make 2 mana, though I guess I'll be plunging to go up a little bit higher on mana here. Yeah, this seems like an lock to win at this point. I do think that Hammer Time is probably going to be a pretty good matchup. Like this dynamic that regular Goblins has this dynamic too. Okay, so we now just get to go 1 mana Matron into Pashik Mons and show them that they're dead. Although, if we're still talking about Mons versus Bushwhacker, Bushwhacker's almost definitely going to be a win here as well. But this is going to definitely end the game a lot sooner. Yeah. So we bring in the Furies, the Trashmasters, the Tin Street Hooligan. And in this matchup, I'm still obviously figuring out my sideboard plans. I usually cut the Breach, like when I bring in a ton of sideboard cards. I'm going to be cutting a couple of Infernal Plunges. Might be fine to cut the Bushwhacker and just lean on Mons, since that's the more important card anyways. And then a lot of times too, when I'm bringing in like some non-Goblin cards, I'll be going down like 1 Hordemaster. Although then I'm going to have more Goblin cards or other Hordemasters, but I also have more Lord effects in the Trashmaster. More sack effects too. And I think you want to go down on 2 Instigators. I think you really don't want to go less than like 6 of these Marshal Instigator cards though. Still trying to figure everything out. I haven't lost to Hammer Time yet. I think I'm like 2-0 or 3-0 against it. Small sample size. Maybe play some number of Manamorphose, less than 4. Yeah, Manamorphose is interesting. Again, like, my big issue with it is that, like, it dilutes the number of goblins you deck for Hordemaster. Right now, sorry, the numbers are weird because of the Furies. Right now, I think you're at like 28, which is a pretty good number. Like, you would kind of wish that it was like at least like 30 or 29. Like, I would love for it to be like a few more goblins, but every single like instant sorcery you play, or enchantment dilutes that number a lot. And I think the cards we are playing are pretty important. The 4 breaches, 4 Fecundity, 4 Plunge, 1 Breach. You could maybe make an argument for Manamorphose over Plunge, but like there's just like so many spots where I think you have Prospector and a lot of cards, but you need to make mana so you can cast Empty and go off. And Plunge does that really well. But you could also maybe do a split. You could maybe just play 2 Plunges and like 2 Manamorphose. That could be interesting. Okay, we're on the draw against Hammer Time with a pretty keepable hand, having both Fury and Tin Street, as well as like our engine of Prospector, Hordemaster, War Marshal. Squid, 22 months. Appreciate you. Yeah, Gigantha's also like a really weird conversation. Like in a linear combo deck like this, Gigantha is like way better in sideboard games usually than game ones, if that makes sense. Where like you're way more likely to be going for your Giganthas post board after your opponent boards in like really good interaction against you. And this deck that has 10 sideboard cards that turn off Gigantha makes it like less likely that you're going to want to do that. And so it's just a bit awkward, I guess. I think I need to Fury this. I guess I'm just pitching Fury. Because I'm not going to have enough red cards to pitch anyways. That's the thought process at least. But you could also just play the Gigantha and not think about it. Over the Emrakul, probably pretty easily. Be fine. So the last card is a Hammer. Hushbringer seems to be pretty good against my exact hand. It stops these effects. The Matron, yeah, Hushbringer's pretty good, huh? I do get a death trigger, though. I think I'll sack this now. Oh, wait, hold on. Entering the battlefield or dying. Okay, I didn't realize the dying. Oh, fuck. Dude, Hushbringer is so good. Okay. Never mind, then. We're just going to be like unfair Lord beatdown plans, then, for now. Wait, this stops Fecundity, too? This stops Fecundity? No! Oh, man. Alright, 3 mana, 2/2. Yeah, sorry. I mean, the ETB effect. Yeah, this doesn't have an ETB effect. That being said, especially if we just draw another Hordemaster and can lord our goblins, we can win the race if they just stumble and never find a Hammer or Shadow Spear. Or sorry, they have Hammer, Sigard's Aid. Yeah, all of our decks just lose to Hushbringer. Okay, so I'll attack with the non-Hordemaster cards. Just get my goblins out there. They're playing 2 Hushbringers now. I leave for 3 days, and all of a sudden, they're playing 2 Hushbringers. Saga for turn. I think if we draw a Hordemaster, we have an Alpha Strike, though, right? No attacks from our opponent. I think we don't send in with the 1-power creatures. I think they're going to double block a Tin Street Hooligan, give it protection from red, gain 2, take 6, and they'll go down to 5. If you had Cavernous Souls and possibly 1 Gentrime, you would never play a Gentrime in this deck, but you could play a Blood Crypt. Munitions Expert is like a little bit too like fair, interactive, but you know, it also doesn't kill Hushbringer if this is like your goal. Oh, oh yeah, right. I can sack the one that gets blocked. That's right. Although here, would I rather sack or kill the Esper Sentinel? They should have double blocked. I feel like killing the they get to gain a life, but killing the Sentinel means they're not like this is going to represent at least 2 life for them. So just kill that. 2 mana 3/3. Got a Watch Wolf with some other text. Did I move the league status bar? The Stream Decker UI is covering where it says 1-0 and cannot move it. I don't think it's been up here for a while. We can look about it in a little bit. The UI is also only like on PC. Hold on. Okay, so they have 4 blockers. They're going to 6 life. They block 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they take 2. Fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna lose the Shadow Spirit. Let's go to game 3. I mean, I guess it's been down here sometimes. Maybe this is just better. On the play, I think I'm interested in some number of Magus of the Moon. Sacking last turn was lethal. I don't know how it could be lethal because they would have had an extra blocker this turn. Trashmaster is like maybe a good way to beat Hushbringer. We could empty as well. Gym Palm is not legal in Modern now. Let's keep this. Yeah, I think it's better up here. Yeah, Hushbringer does turn off the Evoke, so you can just play Furies as double strikers. Twitch Cyber. I mean, you would just play Lightning Bolt, right? So you can play Lightning Bolt. What's on a Moldify? Maybe mulliganing for Hushbringer again. I think Trashmaster is a really good plan against Hushbringer too. Tarfire, yeah. Although Tarfire doesn't work with like any card in the deck besides Matron, but yeah, it does work with Matron. No Hushbringer in hand. It's pretty big. Think we're not paying Echo here though. Got some good draws. I think it's fine. Not that it would have been nice last turn, so we could be hardcasting a Fury this turn, but better than a land. What about the new Goblin from Kamigawa? Mind Goblin? I'm talking about Mind Goblin right now. Yeah, the new Goblin Lord only lets you kind of... It specifies Goblin creatures, I'm like 99% sure. Yeah, but it does work with Matron. It's only a card, right? Okay. Land, not ideal. I do feel like if I attack with my 2 or 3/3 now, I think they're like not blocking. Maybe a little too slow though. If I draw on, I guess a red card also doesn't let me kill the Paladin, huh? So they get a hammer off the Saga. Presumably. They may have, they are on a mulligan. They may have a hard time getting Metalcraft here. They may also have hammers in the hand to get Shadow Spear, though. I think if they have one hammer in hand, they definitely get the Shadow Spears. So this implies no hammer in hand, I think. Stoneforge Mystic. For Shadow Spear, presumably. Play Saga. Shadow Spear. 1 Infinity short. 4 cards in hand. Or 1 Metalcraft short. And they don't have it, baby. Let's go. Can still only play one of my Furies. My opponent has Blacksmith Skill. We're in trouble. They do have blacksmith skill, and it's indestructible, so I don't even have a freaking attack. Guess I should have attacked first. I mean, I guess I can hit them for 4. Not that this really matters a lot. Not that this really matters a lot. Oh, maybe it does, actually. Maybe we will have lethal in the crackback. If they gain 13, they go up to 23. I'll have 6. No, not 12, 14, 16. Yeah, not close. Twin Trust ever kills Hushbringer. Why is everybody suggesting any card besides Lightning Bolt or Tarfire? All of these like 2-mana kill Hushbringer cards in modern. That you have plenty of red removal. What are we talking about? Okay, so we're gonna need to find a Matron for Trashmaster or a Trashmaster. And we're gonna, I think, also have to chump block with our Fear. No, we're dead. So we're dead, even with a double chump block. The amount of like twin shot sniper suggestions with a card with no synergy in a format with Lightning Bolt is so funny. Okay, interesting hand. Definitely gonna keep. Put back Stomping Ground. Maybe just keep Stomping Ground, play Stomping Ground tapped on turn 1, because I don't usually like to just run the Prospector out. Although this is, especially against the Blackleaf Cliffs. Oh, we're getting scammed. Takes Prospector, probably Prospector Fecundity, right? Plunge, interesting choice. Interesting draw. Opponent only has 2 cards in their hand, so some chance that this survives and we get to, you know, do our thing. Another incredibly interesting draw, especially with the Breach in hand, although I guess I'm not doing much with it so far. With the Anarchomancer in play. Anarchomancer. Shocks and Blood Crypt, so I imagine some 3-drop happening. Either Fable, Blood Moon would be actually bad because we have no basic forest. Kolaghan's Command, maybe. Okay. Spyro's fine here. Yeah, just have to just play the Fecundity this turn. Get a draw card if they kill this, but I think like any way to just like put a card in the graveyard here would be huge, because then we could go. Oh no, we would need 2 cards in the graveyard, huh? Going down. Well, if I block this elemental, they get to draw a card. All right, then just take 7. Two cards in their hand. Yeah, I think I just have to cast Empty with no Storm, because yeah, I thought that I just need 1 card in the graveyard. I need 2 to cast something else off the Breach. I guess I could cast Breach just for Storm count. That's probably correct. It doesn't feel good. But the extra blocker is really big here. Well, I guess I should have gotten Forest. So you play Blood Moon. But it might just kill the Goblin in response. They don't. Is this supposed to work this way? I don't know that this is supposed to work this way. Where you get to exile the Goblin. Cost your pin in order. It's right. That is a... If that's right, which I'm not 100% sure, obviously. It's a very interesting interaction. What happened? So I had Infernal Plunge, 2 other cards in the graveyard, and a Goblin in play. And it let me both sacrifice my Goblin in play and escape it simultaneously with the Plunge as part of the escape costs. Which was very relevant for the extra storm here. And here I'm going to play around Lightning Bolts. We're gonna get to draw 4 cards. Maybe I think I'll cash in a Goblin for an extra card here too. It'll also cost 1 less. Yeah, it didn't matter in that spot. Very interesting interaction. Put some triggers on the stack. Hopefully I don't draw my opponent into 2 lightning bolts. They get to draw 2 cards. I mean, these will buy me a lot of time. But if I draw a Prospector or Matron, we're feeling pretty good here. Pretty Thoughtseize proof hand. Not sure what the tank is. I feel like you just snap off a War Marshal here, but whatever. What do I know? Are there other free sack outlets you can play around Prospector? You can, so like there's the other Goblin ones are like Sling Gang Lieutenant. The idea is that the Matron is like another sack outlet for you. And then Plunge is also kind of like a sack outlet, but you know, obviously single use. So even if they don't want to attack and let me draw cards, I get to draw 2 cards off the War Marshal rebound. I think I'll attack for 2 also. And it's like any of the other sack outlets, though, it's like the fact that Prospector makes mana is like so incredibly unique, you know? Okay, so we're going to draw 3 fresh cards here, presumably. Lose to Fury. I might have lost to Fury there. I got a Goblin if my War Marshal died. So I think I was going to go to 2 if they had Fury. And there's the Prospector. I think we'll play Anarchomancer first. $431. Thank you for the 3 months. Appreciate you. Welcome back. I think I'm not going to always yes, because I'm going to want to say no to this at some point. Maybe this makes this too long to resolve. This should be fine. I mean, I guess, yeah. We have both of our win conditions on the deck, the Mons and the whatever that card's called. The Bushwhacker. Okay, I'll play the Mons out. And I guess I shouldn't play the Mons if they are holding a removal spell for some reason. Then things get a little annoying. Or maybe I should do something like this, just like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a little short because I don't want to like die to lightning bolt either. It'll be fine. I think I'm overthinking it a little bit. Let's go Matron for War Chief. Or maybe Matron for Bushwhacker is like... maybe that's a bit better to just like not show them that I'm on Mons? Because like Mons is maybe a bit easier to play around than Bushwhacker. Could also just cast Empty the Warrens, which is the funnest thing to do here. Yeah, we'll empty for fun, and then Matron for Whacker, finish the game off. See how much damage we can do. Which I guess this is like a lot less than we theoretically could do, but it'll be enough. Did you draw the Bushwhacker yet? Not yet. Only 2 goblins left in the deck. One of them is Bushwhacker. Okay, good enough. Don't think we're sideboarding. Could play like one Leyline. Yeah, Leyline stopping their Undying Evil seems pretty good. It turns off Kroxa. But like mostly just like that's like 8 cards in their deck, right? Plunge is also like kind of bad in the matchup. We do something like 3 for 3. You just got the Breach. Clock, 18 months, thank you. But I might bring in Graveyard Hate because they saw Breach game 1. Wait, brewing any Pioneer decks anytime soon? I'll definitely be working on Pioneer decks. Talking to Brad about Pioneer decks over the over the weekend. I know, yeah, I'll be working on them, and if I find anything interesting, I'll be playing them on stream. But like, to be honest, like I have just definitely been enjoying Pioneer a lot more in small doses. Okay, no. Oh, Leyline plus, yeah, for the Fecundity combo. This hand doesn't have Leyline, but I'm going to keep. Don't mulligan too aggressively in the matchup, I think. Okay, I also found out something else that blew my mind. You guys know Marshall Sutcliffe? Like, very famous Magic commentator, limited resources. Apparently has, like, a really successful watch restoration YouTube channel called Watch Revival, and I ended up downloading and watching like 4 episodes on the plane. It's his channel is like, it's like unreal good. It's just like, I had no idea until this weekend. Amy and Brad and the professor were talking about it. It's very, very, very good to watch. I would highly recommend. So Voidwalker does stop Hordemaster and War Marshal triggers, which is pretty good. Just play the Instigator here. Still iffy on the recalls, but here. Fish Husbandos. Counterspells definitely seem kind of iffy in the sideboard too. Ooh, brutal. Counterspells seem like very tricky. With 7 colorless lands. I feel like I would maybe go down like another cavern to get up to like 16 blue sources. I do think that would go a long way. You can play it out, but probably losing this one. The Hurkyl's recalls in the sideboard are probably fine. I don't know. Dress Down might be also okay to play because it doesn't like kill any of your creatures, and then Dress Down's going to be like pretty good option against Titan and just Saga decks in general. And obviously like Recall has like a similar effect, but like even like Dress Down against Titan, just like 2 mana Time Walk you effectively, you can like, that's maybe enough for you to like untap and kill them. And like Recall is like specifically really awkward against Recall is always like really awkward against Pure Steel Paladin, where you just let them draw all the cards again. Okay, I think I'm just gonna play War Marshal and Chump Block again, unfortunately. I think playing 3 Boseiju in a regular girl deck is too much. I think that if you're playing like 4 Red and 6s, you should be playing like 1 or 2 Boseiju main and playing more of the sideboard. But Boseiju in the main is like Boseiju is not relevant in most of the games that you play. Which is probably a good heuristic for sideboard more copies. As far I would also be interested in like the rest of the subtleties in the sideboard too. So like maybe just like don't play the counter spells. Maybe you're just like don't play counter spells, or the card counter spell. Play the rest of the subtleties, and then you can play like 2 recall, 2 dress down. That could be interesting. 1 dress down, 3 recall. I would also probably be interested in playing like more hearses than relics. Okay, let's go game 3. More hearses than relics, where like getting to play both Chalice and Hearse against Murktide seems pretty important, and the card Murktide is hard for you to deal with. So I would even be like recommend like maybe 3 Hearse, 0 relic, and then you have like 4 Chalice, 3 Hearse you get to bring in against Murktide, and that's like really nice. A lot of loose thoughts for sure. Do you think Merfolk is like looking pretty good? A lot of good ways to build it. Oh, I guess that's true. I guess Dress Down's less necessary because you already have Harbinger as Saga Hate. That's a good point. This hand doesn't have a Leyline. It's kind of an interesting hand though, where I can go turn 1 Hierarch, turn 2 Narcomancer Hierarch into like Instigator Bushwhacker attack for a bunch. I think I should mulligan. Okay, this hand has a Leyline. Excuse me, I'm going to put back the plunge. Why doesn't Fish play Saga? I mean, you could. I mean, Saga's like just not that good, I think, if you're not playing like Way to Recur It or playing a lot of artifacts, but you do have, obviously, Aether Vial. Wilson, 14 months. There could be some like more like interesting tutor targets too. Alright, 2 removal spells. Love to get that Fecundity down. This fish operator with that vial. I mean, I would say yes. I would say yes. It's not a bad thought. Thank you, Sack Tap, for the the raid. You know, I will say this, like, there was definitely a time, especially like right after Modern Horizons 2, where people like definitely had the attitude of like Urza Saga is going to be this broken card that like adding it to your deck was going to be just playing Urza Saga was going to be like a big addition to every deck, and every deck should play Saga, and Saga is going to be like this new broken card. It's going to be banned. And after time passed and sorry, was my headphones connected? After time passed and people played more with the card, I do think it became clear that that wasn't the case, and that you do have to, like, Saga does have some pretty real deck building restrictions that not every strategy is interested in meeting. Okay, I'm gonna take 5 more damage, which is a lot of damage, but hopefully we're gonna be able to stabilize after getting the Fecundity down, and then having Leyline in play. Oh, sorry, I should have got another mountain. I am worried about Blood Moon though, but like I guess they would just be cutting the Blood Moons against me. I think it's fine. It's bad if I draw, unless I draw exact. This is fine unless I draw exactly another one of these next turn, I think. Yeah, blue-white control playing Urza Saga Brainstone was like, it like top 8'd a challenge, and everybody lost their mind. They made a lot of videos, you know how it goes. Okay, so we're going to 2 right now. Pretty scary spot to be in. -1 Traverse, +1 Dryad. Accelerate land drops, turn fetches, and tappable lands is huge. Maybe. I feel like it's definitely true that it's very fragile. Deck is like you're pretty. Grix a scam. I want to get this out of my system a little bit, but this is a deck I was liking a lot pre.